Hello, everyone. Happy New Year. Happy New Year from Delaware. Good afternoon. It's the first day of the year, January 1st, 2025. Hi, everyone. Welcome to the live. This is Lucy coming to you from Delaware. I hope you had a good crossover from 2024 into 2025. We thank God. We thank God for the gift of life. We thank God for the trials and tribulations of 2024. We thank God for his provision, for his protection, for his wisdom, for his guidance. Everything that we went through 2024, we are grateful and we thank God for that. So, welcome to my live today. New Year's Day. Muliruka mwaka aje. What did you guys do for New Year's? Did you go out to celebrate? Did you have a party? Did you go to church? Were you in your bed? What were you doing when you're crossing over from 2024 to 2025? I can't believe it. 2025 is here, guys. 2025 is the year of change. It's the year that we're going to do bigger and better things. It's the year that we're going to put ourselves first. It's the year that we are going to give it our all. Whatever goals that we have for ourselves, this is the year to get to go through that instead of just planning and not doing anything about it. This is the year of action. This is the year that you're going to show the world what you're capable of. This is the year that you're going to live to your full potential. This is the year that you're going to make your dreams come true, or at least try to work towards your dreams. So on today's video, I just wanted to thank you guys for 10,000 subscribers. 10,000. What's it? 10,000. I started in 2023 in June, and it was just a hobby I was just doing. It's still a hobby. I still love to do it, but I've gained so much traction, and I've gained a community of you guys by just showing up and you guys subscribing and watching my videos. I don't take 10,000 subscribers for granted. I don't take all the views for granted. I don't take you guys for granted for sitting down and watching my videos and commenting and liking and sharing. So this video is to thank you guys for that. Continue supporting this channel as we continue to talk about issues that affect us, especially the Africans in the diaspora. And by diaspora, the US especially, because that's where I live. That's where I have most of my experiences. And when I do these videos, I don't want people to get the wrong impression. I'm talking from a perspective of my own experience. I don't know everything. I haven't experienced everything, obviously. And there are different people that have different experiences. And hence, that's why I open up this channel and I say to you in the comment section, please share your experience, because my experience is not generalized. It's just mine. This is what I know. I live in one small state in the US. It's called Delaware. Some of you have never heard of Delaware. They don't know about Delaware because it's not one of those big states. So you cannot take just my experience and generalize it and say, oh, the US is like that because Lucy said. No, Lucy's experience is different. My background is different. How I came to the US is different. Whatever direction I decided to take as far as career path is different. My family dynamics are different. But whoever I decided to get married to is different. So everybody's journey, everybody's process is different. On my channel, I say, seize the moment and trust the process. The process. Trust the process. Because if you want the microwave results, sometimes that doesn't happen. You have to be patient and trust the process. So don't generalize. Don't say just because Lucy said this about the US, then I'm going to take it for face value. Don't do that. This is just a platform with just my voice as just like an example, but it doesn't represent the whole of the United States of America. So I welcome anybody who's in the diaspora and have a different or has a different experience to come up, participate like we did on the last live 2 days ago. I had all these comments from different people around the world commenting about their experience. And that was an awesome live. I enjoyed doing that, and I enjoyed the feedback of people saying, oh, I didn't know that you guys are going through this. Because the assumption is because you're in the US or because you're Komaju, because you're in the diaspora, then you're not facing any challenges. Yes, we are facing challenges, but maybe on a different level, but challenges are challenges. Okay, so I welcome anybody who has different perspectives from me. I don't mind you having not negative as such, but different. Different is not always bad. Different is okay. We can have different ideas. We can have different opinions about a similar topic. So happy New Year, guys. Happy New Year. Happy New Year. I'm so excited for 2025. Our topic today is New Year financial goals, lessons learned and changes for a better 2025. So what are some of the lessons that I learned in 2024? Actually, I have some bullet points because I don't want my mind to go all over the place to Bahati and back, and then to Nanyuki and back. So 2025, I'm hoping that things will be better financially because, as you know, from my previous videos, I've been having financial challenges, which has not been a problem for me in the past. It's just the last 1 or 2 years. I don't know whether it's something that I need to work on for 2025. Obviously, that is something that I need to work on personally. And I don't mind putting my struggles out there. Like I said in the last video, it reaches a point where whether you talk about it or you don't talk about it, the struggle is still there. So you might as well share with people so that if we come up with any solutions, other people can benefit, right? So my biggest challenges for 2024, lessons learned. Lesson learned was that you have to take care of yourself. You have to put yourself first. Over the years, I always put myself last. I put everybody's needs in front of my needs. And so it got to a point where I was very, very depleted. I was deflated. I didn't have anything else to offer because I was offering even when I didn't really have enough. And I know they say we should live in a mentality of abundance, but we have also to be realistic. If you can't afford it, don't try to please other people by giving and giving and giving and draining yourself dry until you don't have any more to give. So for 2025, I will continue to give, but I will put myself first, and I will not like drain my wells and then start complaining that I'm struggling. So it's gotta be a strategic way of giving. Giving is good. So because the hand that gives is also the hand that receives, but we also have to be smart and realistic about it. So that's one of the challenges that I will stop putting myself last so that I can have the resources and the energy and the mental capacity to help even more people. So the other thing is still in the finances section is to be more intentional and not live life in autopilot. Here in the US, from what I know, is sometimes we just live life in autopilot. What do I mean by that? Unaamka asubuhi, you wake up in the morning, you go to work, you get paid, you pay your bills, and you work again. You come home, you pay your bills. It's like that cycle. That cycle can be ongoing for years, and before you open your mind or your eyes and say, wait, I've been on autopilot for so many years without having that intentional outlook of life. Like, what is it that I'm doing? Am I just here to work and pay bills, or what else can I do with my life? Because before you know it, so I'm going to be 50 next year. Next year in August, I'm going to be 50. So when I look back, I came here when I was in my 20s, late 20s. So it's very easy to get tangled in this life of like autopilot. You wake up, you go to work, you pay your bills, and the cycle goes on and on. And at the end of the day, you're looking back and you're like, wait, where did the years go? What have I done with my life? Yes, you're paying the bills and you're jumping from one job to the other if you're the employment type, employed, employee type. But then you look and you're like, wait, time ilienda wapi? Where did time go? You know what I mean? So for me, it's for 2025 to be more intentional about my life goals. Like, what is it that I want to do with my life so that the next 10 years don't just pass me like that, because they will. So if I'm going to be 50 next year, in 10 years, I'll be 60. And then 5 years later, I'll be 65. And then the US is telling me now I have to retire. First of all, I hope and I pray that hiyo 65 haitanipata hapa. I pray that I will have a better outcome than 2024. Damn, 2024 ilinichanganya sana 2024. So reflecting on last year's lessons. So last year was the first year that I worked as a full-time registered nurse, because I went to school and then I was an LPN before. LPN is licensed practical nurse. And then I went back to school for my registered nurse. So last year was the first year that I actually worked a full year as a registered nurse. And I was saying in the last video how you would think that after you become an RN and your income increases kidogo, then you would be okay financially. So for me, I don't know what happened, but it's just the complete opposite. Things went the opposite way. So after now, I'm trying to figure out. So I've been writing down like the things that occurred during that time period, like what affected me financially. Like, what are the things that happened that affected me financially? You know what I mean? And I'm looking back, and this is a time to, the first day of January is a time for me to look back and see, Lucy, what did you do in 2024 that really, or in the past few years, because you're complaining of finances, can you look back and see what happened to you that really left a dent in your financial life? So I'm looking and I'm like, okay, the first time that I signed up, like the whole time I was taking in nursing school, there's something called prerequisites. So prerequisites are the classes that you take before you join the actual nursing program. So the nursing program in the school that I went to a technical community college. And if you come to the US, those are the good ones, like Del Tech. If you come to Delaware Skill Center has a LPN program. Delaware University has a BSN, RN program. University of Delaware has a BSN program. Delaware Technical and Community College, we call it Del Tech in short. They have different campuses, four campuses. So I went to the closer campus in Dover, and their nursing program is very intense. They have an LPN program, they have an RN program, and now they have a BSN program, RN to BSN, and you can bridge them from one to the other So I was accepted into the program. So during COVID, let me back up a little bit and give you just a little bit, because I'm also now like looking back and looking to see what happened. So during COVID, we worked and worked and worked. I worked in the COVID unit for the whole COVID time. Thank God I didn't get COVID, and I thank God for that. But we were in the COVID unit, day in, day out, day in, day out. But with that, the advantage of that was that we got the COVID bonuses. So I used that to save money, because I knew once I got accepted into the nursing program, I will not be able to work full time. So remember, I'm a single mom. So it's a single income household. So I needed to plan so that when I go to school for 3 or 4 semesters full time, that's like a year and a half, almost 2 years, I will have money to pay my bills during that time. So I did that. So I was like, during COVID, I busted my behind. I'm working, I'm saving. So I save money for the future so that I can be able to go to school without interruptions, without having to worry about, okay, I have to work full time. But I did take some PRN jobs. That PRN means as needed. So maybe like a weekend here and there. I ended up not even working that PRN because the schoolwork was very intense. Okay, so I did that, and then I was accepted. I was accepted into the program. So after I was accepted, like, I think it was 2 months later, or even, I don't even think it was 2 months later, my roof started leaking. You know, they say when it rains, it pours. My roof for my house, I had never had any issues at all. But suddenly my roof wants to leak. So I'm like, okay, I don't want to spend this money. And then when they came to do the assessment of the roof, they found out that it was going to affect the whole house if I don't like change the roof. That cost me like $10,000. So I was like, am I going to take the money from my savings so that I can pay for this roof? And it wasn't covered by insurance. I know maybe you may ask, what insurance iko wapi? So because of whatever the issue was, it wasn't covered on the insurance because the insurance said, oh, flood or something. So it wasn't flood. So I'm not sure what happened to my roof up to this time. Bado sijajua. I still need to investigate. But anyway, the warranty for the roof had already elapsed. So I ended up paying out of pocket. And so I didn't want to spend the money that I had already saved for school. So I was like, okay. So they said, oh, we'll give you a loan at whatever percent, I think 10% or something. So here I am starting off with school. And then now I have a loan of $10,000 for the roof. So that started off wrong. But then I was like, I still need to go to school because if I go to school, I'm going to, increase my pay and all that after I get a good job. Anyway, so that's one of the reasons, because before that I had cleared all my debt. I didn't have any loans. I didn't have any debts. I was good. I had my savings for the school and everything. So that pushed me back to like a 10 grand in debt. I was pissed, but what can you do? It's not, you can't say that you're not going to fix your roof, right? So maybe I would have done something differently at that time. I don't know, but it is what it is. That's what happened. And then my daughter now was driving. She had a car. So now I had, two responsibilities. The car, now you got two cars because you have two drivers in the house. And some of you will be like, okay, why can't you guys just share the car? So let me explain something to you about cars here in the US for people who don't know, especially in some states where cars are required. Like it's a requirement. It's part of the needs. They are not a want. So car is a need. Housing is a need. Food is a need. So the way it works is like, okay, so if you have an somebody who can drive from 16, 17, 18 uko, they can drive. So if they're going to school and maybe they have a part-time job and you have a full-time job, and maybe you're going to different parts of town, ako huku Dover, mimi niko huko Newark, and she has a job in Middletown, different. So you're not going to be able to be driving your child everywhere. So you end up getting a car for them. So if you're able to find a car for less, then you can get that. If you are able to find to buy it cash, that's even better. So Miss Kona cash at that time. So you have now 2 car notes. So at that time I didn't have a car note for my car because I was driving an old Ford Explorer, a truck, 2003. Actually, I was driving around with a car that is 20 plus years old, but it was good. It was good, and I wasn't making any payments. So I was like, I'm going to keep this car because I'm not making any payments. So at that time, I was just making payments for my daughter's car. And then Sasa, you have to add insurance. But then mine had insurance, but because it was an older car, the insurance was less. Okay, so I finished with school. That car served me well. It was a very old car, but it served me well. But as soon as I finished school, so here I am thinking, oh, I'm going to keep this car for like a year after I graduate so that I can save all this money so I won't have like a car note, 2 car notes, and all that. Man, that car broke down. It broke down like a week and a half or something after I finished school. So now here I am looking for a car. So here is my next mistake kwa sababu tunasema hii live is for lessons learned and changes for a better 2025. So this is what I did, which I think that was stupid of me, and I should, think twice next time. So instead of getting a car that I can afford, you know what I mean? Like get a used car or something. Mimi ni nani? I went and got a brand new car. Brand new sijui 2024. Who told me to do that? Nani aliniambia nifanye hivyo? So anyway, now looking back, I should have gotten like a used car knowing the financial situation that I was in. But in my head, I'm like, I'm going to make this money. I will afford these payments. So, if you've ever bought a new car, that car, it depreciates as soon as you leave the showroom. So I cannot even sell it at the price that I bought it. So I was thinking about it. I was like, maybe I should sell it and then buy something cheaper or something. And it's not even a car that is like out there. It's not like a luxury car or anything. It's just the fact that it's a brand new car, and now I have a car note, which I didn't have. So when I'm looking back to see where my financial challenge is coming from, so I'm just trying to figure out like what happened to my life in the last year and a half or two that I feel like I'm at the bottom of the bottom financially. You know what I mean? And what are we going to do in 2025 to fix that? Because that needs to be fixed ASAP. The other thing that when I look back is, so I traveled to Africa in August of 2024. So, okay, so here's what I was thinking. I haven't been home since 2012. My dad, he passed away in 2012. And so I had gone like for an emergency visit to go for the funeral. So I didn't really get time to enjoy myself or to be with family during that time, because it was only 10 days, mazishi, nini, mipango ya funeral and all that. And I was back home. I wasn't able to go with my family at that time. So nikasema, my daughter, she was born here. She's never been to Africa. So it was bothering me that she's never been to Africa. Nikasema, I'm going to take her home so that she can see her family back home, which is fine, because I also needed that because it was a long time separation from family and all that. If you're in the US or in the diaspora, you know these things. You know how mentally draining and how we miss home and how we miss our family, especially if you are the only one here. So nikasema, twende. So I had saved up money to spend back home. So that money I had in some account. So I had that. But then, so nini liniambia I swipe for the flights, and the flights were expensive. So here's the thing. I was going back and forth asking myself, should I postpone this trip until I'm financially okay? Or should I just go because I need it for my mental, like to relax kidogo? You know, the way you need a break sometimes from this US hustle and bustle of life. And then I was like, okay, let me just go. So I was weighing, is finances versus mental health, which one is better? So mental health won. I ended up swiping my credit card to buy the tickets. My friend, that was a wrong move. Because the tickets were expensive and I bought them last minute. So if you've ever bought tickets za kwenda home last minute, Qatar Airways, American Airlines, I think those are the two that we used to connect. So I was like, when I come back, I'll just work. I will work overtime, and then I'll and then I'll make up for that. I'm still paying for that stuff up to today. Still paying for that stuff up to today. So what I would advise, and you don't have to take my advice, I think what I should have done is, in addition to the spending money, I should have put like a separate, no, add the flight to that budget, the flight tickets, and don't depend on credit cards. Because the bad thing with credit cards is the interest. The more you roll over the balance, you carry forward the balance, the more money you end up owing and paying in terms of interest, and it's a pain in the butt. It's a pain in the butt. So that's one thing that I think also pushed me back financially. So I think better spending habits for 2025 will help. Sticking to my budget, because what I used to do is I would have like my bills, because I have a budget. I think I did a video about how I do my budget. I have a budget for every month, because as a single parent, you have to manage your money, because if you don't, utajikuta nje, you'll find yourself homeless in like 2 days if you don't get your finances together. So I would even look at my budget and say, I won't pay this bill. Wacha hii bill ichelewe kidogo, so that I can help somebody else who I'm feeling like they're in more trouble than me. So it goes back to the thing of being not putting myself first, and then digging myself a hole financially every single time. Every single time. So what's the other thing that I did? Oh, the other thing that changed for me in 2024 was I've always done shift work. So I've been a nurse for a while now. First I was an LPN, and first I was a CNA, then LPN, then RN. So I've been, I work bedside for the longest time, like shift work. So initially I was working 8 hours, so from 7 to 3. So here, when most people do day shift is like 7 to 3. So that you're able to manage family life, dropping your kids to the bus stop, and then maybe picking them up around 4. So you see, if you work 7 to 3, you're able to do that. You can leave at 3:30 and be able to pick your kid from the bus stop by 4. Because they don't want you to be late to pick your kid, because the bus driver doesn't have time to babysit your kid. If it's time for the kids to be dropped off, the kids needs to be picked up by their parents or the guardian. So I used to work that, and then they changed the shifts. They changed the shifts to 12-hour shifts. So I tried the 12-hour shifts after I graduated with my RN. I tried that, and it was taking a toll on my body. Those 12-hour shifts are no joke. And I know there are people who like them, and there are pros and cons of the shifts, 12 hours versus the 8-hour shift. So the 8-hour shift is like you're working 4 days a week, Mondays, 4 days a week, you're just showing up every day, and then every other weekend. And then the 12-hour shift is you're working maybe 3 days a week, and then you're off 4 days, or 2 days here and 3 days off here. So they are longer, but then you get more days off. And a lot of people like that, because maybe, for example, if you have like a 3-day off, you can combine that with your weekend, and then you can maybe take a trip somewhere or take a longer break. But for me, I didn't like it. I didn't like it because of the amount of time you're on your feet, especially if you're working in a fast-paced and a busy unit, or a busy hospital, busy skilled nursing facility, nursing home, wherever you're working. It was taking a toll on my body, because your knees start hurting, your back start hurting. And we bought the shoes, the shoes that all the nurses nowadays are wearing. So I bought those there, so they're comfortable. But then I found that if I work 4 days straight, the 4th day, I'm so tired. You're walking around like a zombie, because you're exhausted on the 4th, by the time you're doing your 4th 12-hour shift. So then you have 3 days off. Let's say, for example, you have 3 days off. The first day, you're you're done. You're tired. You're spending your whole day off just resting, recovering, and doing all that, laying around or asleep because you're exhausted. You're exhausted mentally and physically. So me personally, and that's my opinion, I don't like 12-hour shifts. I tried them, I didn't like them. But there are a lot of people who like the 12-hour shifts, and we can have another conversation with you nurses, and let me know which one you prefer. A lot of people like them. I really don't. I don't. So what happened is, like, now I changed my shift work now from shift work to 9 to 5, and that one has its own advantages and disadvantages, and we can talk about that. One of the things about the 9 to 5 is you don't get your overtime. You don't get paid overtime because then now you start getting paid salary, which is just like a block of income. It's the same every month, month in, month out, is the same. Every 2 weeks is the same amount. So even if you wanted to say, okay, let me go pick up some shifts here and there so that I can save up for something, you can't do that if you're salary, because your paycheck is structured. So I think that's one of the other different things that's happened to my income. My incomes, because I'm just trying to look to see what the heck happened. You know, when you look back and you're like, let me review 2024 and see what really happened and what can we do better. What can we do better? And some people are like, oh, maybe the reason why you're struggling is because you don't believe in God. I'm like, really? Really? Kwani the people who believe in God, they don't go through challenges? Does the fact that I believe in God excuse me from being challenged or tempted or tried in life? People in the Bible who had faith, their faith was tested many ways. So for people to comment in the comment section and say, do you believe in God? Maybe that's why you're not so that's why you're having struggles. That's crazy. But anyway, we move on. I do believe in God. I believe there is a power that is higher than me, that has been protecting me since I came to this country. I came alone. I came not knowing what I'm doing. I came like blindly, sikuwa najua what to do. I didn't know what the future held, and I'm still on it. I'm still on it because I believe I have a purpose here. I believe there's a reason why I'm still standing. So that purpose, maybe it will reveal itself in 2025, but I refuse to just continue living in autopilot without having like a plan, like a plan in my head. I need to know, like, what is it that I need to be doing, because I cannot be living like on autopilot. Ooh. All right, let me see what else I wrote here. So what can I do, me personally, to change, to be better? I don't know. I really don't know. I think some of the things I can do is many financial gurus on YouTube and in books, they say that you have to adopt this thing of paying yourself first. Paying yourself first means not even just with time, but also when you get paid, that the first either 10% or whatever percent that you want to allocate to yourself, before you start paying those 100,000 bills, you should put some money aside for yourself, either as a savings, either as a retirement account, either for investment, either for emergency fund. And we'll talk about emergency fund because I think that's important. Maybe on a different video, we can talk about those things. And not because I'm an expert, because if I was an expert, I would not be in this financial quagmire. But I accept when I feel like I did something like I wasn't supposed to do. But I don't like to dwell in the problem. I like to look for solutions. So maybe one of those things I should start doing is paying myself first and putting the money in those different places that I just said, and invest more in myself as far as time, and also just being self-aware when I'm doing like things that will harm me mentally, high pressure things that will give me high blood pressure and stuff like that. I should avoid those. and reorganize my financial goals and find ways to stay financially disciplined. Okay, pay off credit card debt. Let me tell you about credit card debt. It creeps up on you. It creeps up on you. Credit card debt can start like $100. It can start like, okay, you get offers for the people who are new coming into the US as new immigrants. When you build your credit a little bit, you'll get offers, credit card offers. Please be careful with those. Read the fine print. Know the interest rates and the terms and conditions of usage. So you'll swipe the card because you think that in 2 weeks or in whatever time you get paid, you'll be able to pay this money off. So you get a credit card, maybe a credit limit of whatever amount, $3,000 maybe. And then you see this thing, or you have this emergency, maybe your tire busted out and you don't have cash, or you have this thing that is an emergency that cannot wait, but you don't have cash. You don't have the money for it because you have no savings. You have no savings set aside. You don't have an emergency fund. So what do? You go swipe the credit card. So the credit card, so let's say whatever it was cost you $500. So now you're using $500 out of the $3,000 that you have the credit limit for. Okay, so you're like, $500 nikidogo, I'll pay it in like 2 weeks. 2 weeks roll up, you get your paycheck, and the minimum payment accrues. So it's like maybe the minimum payment for that one is like $25. And you look at it, you're like, $25, you're naeza lipa. And the interest rate is probably like 26% ama high interest rates. So before you know it, so you're like, $25, I'll just add that to the rest of my bills. So you pay the minimum payment of $25. And then now you're rolling over the balance to the following month. So instead of paying off the $500 so that you can get done with it, you roll over. And your $25 umelipa, by the way, all of it is not going towards the principal. Most of it is going towards interest. So ni kama tu, you're just wasting money. You're wasting money. And the longer you wait to pay it off, the longer you'll pay, the more you'll pay in interest. So double that. If you multiply that by however much debt you have, let's say you have $5,000 in debt, or wengine wako hata na $20,000 in debt, credit cards, or even higher. So can you imagine the amount of interest you're paying every month? You're just paying interest. So my goal for 2025 is to pay off all my credit card debt and all my loans. These are loans, the roofs, those emergency loans that I took because my roof got tore up and I had to pay, and I paid $170 a month for that for I don't know how many years. The interest rate was like 10.99 or something. Vitu kama hizo. So when you look at your finances, I'm like, guy, that's where the money is going. The money has so many places that it's going, so that even when I graduated and got a pay raise, it doesn't make sense. That's why it doesn't make sense, because of the credit card debt and then the loans. Other loans that can like kick your butt are like student loans, not the federal ones that you get, not the grant, no, the grants you don't pay, but there are other subsidized and unsubsidized loans that you take from school. So if you take those, they give you a grace period after graduation, like 6 months. And then the payment is not that much, but it's still there every month. So that's added. If you take these commercial loans, they're like Sally Mae, Yuina Kinanani, those loans, the interest starts right away. So I think I was stuck with one of those. I was stuck with one of those because we had to take a loan for my daughter's school and, things like that. And man, the interest rate on that one and the amount that we ended up paying. So I hurried up and paid that one off, because if not, I was going to pay more than double at the end of the loan. So be careful with those, like I don't know whether they're called commercial loans. They're not federal loans. They're just private loans offered by private companies. So those are very dangerous as well. They can, Those are dangerous. They can just run you dry kabisa financially. So wah. So those are some of the things that when I look back, I feel like maybe that's why I'm in a financial hole. So I need to get myself out of that out of the financial hole and see if 2025 will be better. Do you guys have any like goals for 2025 that you want to share with us, or things that you can tell me about now that I've given you like a little picture of why my financial situation sucks and why I want to make it better? You have any ideas? Let's see what you guys are saying. Tokenda Travel. Hi, good morning and Happy New Year. So glad I discovered your channel. Welcome to our channel. How are you? Happy New Year. Happy New Year. Where are you guys watching from? Let me know. Let me know where you're watching from. Osman Kaba, you guys that just got here, welcome to my channel live. Happy New Year. This is 2025. I'm so excited for 2025. Guys, we are 10,000 subscribers. This video, this live stream is to thank you for that. I don't take it for granted. Keep supporting my channel. Let's move stronger. Let's help each other financially, mentally, because in the US, karibu vichwa ziruke huku. We are mentally stressed. Is the pressure imeenda juu because of the economy and all the things that we are facing. And I know it's not just here. So I'm not saying we are special. We're not special. This is happening to a lot of people. So this is a platform that we can join together and release our steam, vent, talk about, help each other if you have any ideas and stuff like that. Osma Kaba, Happy New Year, Lucy, and thanks for everything. Your videos have been useful and enlightening. It shall be well with you and your family in the new year and for the rest of your life. Amen. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much. Smart Logistics Solutions. Happy New Year, Lucy. Radimuomuno onawe. Radimuomuno. I like your name, Smart Logistics Solutions. I like that for a business. Chikilari. Happy New Year. Happy New Year, Mkwaje. Where are you guys watching from? Happy New Year. Mlirukia mwaka wapi? Where did you jump the year? Where did you rukia mwaka from? What were you guys doing? Tunyamutwe moyo. That's prosperity gospel, I think. Huh? What does that mean? Prosperity gospel. True Kenyan, how are you? There are very many primitive and outdated opinions that are devoid of basic facts and the necessary information to facilitate propel decision making. That's true, Aki. Tunyamutwe moyo. I looked at your channel, by the way. Is it like a biology channel? Tunyamutwe moyo means living things. I looked at it, I was fascinated. Yeah, and thank you for commenting on my other video, the American Dream video. Perhaps your purpose is to curate and hold spaces for diasporans to ask critical questions that help them thrive and not just survive. That's a good point. Perhaps that's what it is. I have somewhere written there, like in 2025, I want to thrive, not survive. So I'm surprised that you brought that up, because that's actually something that I was writing last night, because somehow I was awake when the year was turning over to 2025, and I was like, what do I want to do? Why would I want my year to be? What am I praying for this year? And I said, I want to thrive, not survive, because most of us find ourselves on survive mode. Yani, you're on survive mode so much, baka you don't realize you're on survive mode. Baka something happens to you, you're like, wait, Connie, I've been on this survive mode for how long? And what can I do to start thriving instead of surviving? That's a good point. That's true. True Kenyan. Mko wapi? Mko wapi nyinyi? Where are you guys watching from? Credit card debt creeps up when we generally overestimate our ability to keep up. It is generally an innocent and rather optimistic approach that ignores interest rate, cannot ignore the interest. You cannot ignore the interest. And some people, and I'm teaching my daughter that now, because some of these things they don't teach in school, and this should be fundamental education in school. Why do they not teach financial awareness, literacy in schools? My daughter was telling me that they just learned economics. They took an economics class towards the end of the 12th year. I'm like, that's not going to help you. Nobody teaches them about taxes. Nobody teaches them about credit cards. Nobody teaches them about banking and stuff like that, and how to manage your finances. So I'm teaching my daughter what I know, and I pray that I'm teaching her the right thing, because why the hell am I in a financial hole if I hope that I'm teaching her the right thing. But as far as interest rates, be aware of interest rates, because that's how they make their money. We can leverage the credit cards because they come in handy. Some people use them for points. Some people use them because of the protection from fraud. Some people use them for whatever reasons. Some of them come with a 0% APR, 0% interest, so that you can leverage that for like a period of time. Some of it's like for a year or 15 months or whatever. But be careful, because a year passes so quickly, and before you know it, the interest rate starts now like being effective. So yeah, credit cards, man. Oh, thank you. Priscilla Zawadi, Happy New Year 2025. First time here. All the first timers on my YouTube channel, karibuni. My name is Lucy. I've been in the US for a long time. I live in Delaware. Delaware is in the East Coast. I started my YouTube channel in 2023 around June. So I think I've been on YouTube for like a year and a half, but I wasn't like as active as I want to be now. I feel like I'm ready now to talk about my struggles. Before, I wasn't ready. And I think everything happens at its own time and its own, excuse me, at its own season. I wasn't ready to share my struggles, and I was struggling. Everybody here is struggling, but I have a platform. If I don't use this platform to educate, to inform, and to share my experiences, then I don't think I'm using it for the right reasons. A lot of people come through my channel for different reasons, and if I don't use it to express the reality of what's going on in the US as far as Africans and immigrants, then I don't feel like I'm doing the channel service, like I'm doing what I'm supposed to do with the channel. So thank you for all the new subscribers and everybody that is new on this live. Chiki Ladik 9. Is that how you say it? Sorry you went through all that. It is shocking how deceptive the credit system works in US. Thank you for sharing. Anytime. Squeezy, I don't care about sharing my struggles. Before I was like, I don't want people to know that I went through this, you this. Nowadays. Ishapita. Priscilla Zawadi, nilikuwa nikidhani nikikuja US shida zangu za pesa zinaisha. Bro, well, let me say this. The potential for you being financially free here in the US is very, very high. So ni kujipanga. Just be financially aware of what you're doing. Financial literacy, I think, is very, very important. So don't spend more than you earn. Akia will be the wrong person to advise you for finance. Maybe later on after nishikishajua hizi ujanja za finances na investment na nini, I can come here and give you my testimony. But educate yourself financial literacy. But utafanya job na utapata do. If you want to make money, come to the US, you'll make money. If you're not afraid to work, you have to work hard. Some people say work smarter, not harder, but you have to work anyway. Mike M, Happy New Year. I hope 2025 will be prosperous for everyone. My goal is to move, avoid social media, spending pitfalls that encourages consumption rather than growth and investment. Okay. So you're going to like get off what, TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, hizo zote, you're leaving. Sometimes they can be a distraction and sometimes they can be good. So depending on what you're doing on social media, is it helping your growth or is it to your detriment? Just chilling, watching from Nairobi. Love your channel. Thank you. Just chilling. What? Mna majina. Where you guys get these fancy names? I love it. I love it. Thank you. Thank you. Happy New Year. Happy New Year. Tonya Motoemoyo, when you refer to people telling you that you are struggling because of not praying, they equate God's provision grace with dollars, when that is not the case. That type of gospel is prosperity gospel. Oh, okay. Okay. Yeah, because I was like, why does people have the audacity to come and just say that? That because you're struggling because you don't believe in God and you should repent all your sins and go back to Jesus. I'm like, wait, who told you that I wasn't with Jesus? Anyway, thank you, Tonyamutwe Muayo. John Kate, are you planning on changing jobs from 8-hour to self-employment? Let me know what you think because I'm looking for a change but not sure my next move. 8 to 5 or 9 to 5, that's a whole different topic of discussion. We have to figure out how we are going to transition from that. We have to talk about that. And if you guys have ideas, zileteni kwa website, bring them on the comment section. Yes, my channel talks about little living organisms, microbes in Kikuyu, Kiswahili, and English. Yeah, I was like, this is interesting. Thank you for participating in the comment section on my videos. So guys, where are you guys watching from? Is there anything else you guys want to talk about? Happy New Year. I was just coming on here to wish you a very, very prosperous 2025. Whatever goes, and I know huwa tunasema make New Year's resolutions and then we stick to them in January, February, March, April ikifika hapo hivyo, when it's April, you're like, now I'm tired. We start slacking off. And I was reading I'm reading this book. This is the one I'm reading right now. I don't know if there are any people who like to read here on the channel. It's called Atomic Habits. This is what I'm reading because I need some changes in my life and I don't feel like whatever I'm doing is working. And what is insanity? It is doing the same thing over and over and expecting a different result. So I don't want to keep doing the same ish every day and sit here and expect a different result. So this book, I haven't finished reading it, but it's saying that you make tiny changes every day and you will get remarkable results. So I keep reading it. I keep like highlighting. How do you guys read books? The book readers, are you highlighters? Do you highlight your books? Look, that's what I do. I highlight, I put sticky notes and stuff like that. And one of the things that I highlighted, it says that all big things come from small beginnings. The seed of every habit is a single tiny decision. But as the decision is repeated, a habit sprouts and grows stronger. Roots entrench themselves and branches grow. The task of breaking a bad habit is like uprooting a powerful oak within us. And the task of building a good habit is like cultivating a delicate flower one day at a time. So what that is telling me is that it's easier to break a bad habit No, it's easier to break a good habit than to continuously be persistent in creating good habits. So let's say you are, I don't know, you are doing a bad thing. I don't know what you are doing that is detrimental maybe to your health. And you told yourself, I'm not going to keep doing this. So you stop for a while, right? The mental power, capability of keeping up with that, it's harder to break that habit. It's harder to break the bad habit. And it's also harder to create good habits, but we have to do it 1%. You to give your 1% every day. Every day, you keep at it, consistency. What determines whether we stick with a habit long enough to survive the plateau of latent potential and break through to the other side? What is it that causes some people to slide into unwanted habits and enables others to enjoy the compounding effects of good ones? So I think it's just consistency and just keeping at it. Whatever you decide to do, keep doing it. The good things. If you want to change your life, don't give up. And I think sometimes when we don't see results quickly, we give up. When we don't see results quickly, we give up. Roads and routes, Kenya. What? Hey, Yani, you guys, you're killing me with the names today. Hey, Lucy, can couple with 2 kids under 8 years survive in USA? Ama, it will be hectic. Can a couple with 2 kids under 8 years survive in USA? Ama, it's going to be hectic. Ukiwa na watoto, when you have a family here, it's difficult because it's doable. People are doing it, but childcare is very expensive. I will have to do a whole video about childcare and compare different states. And people can give me comments about where they are and how much is childcare in their state. Childcare is one of the reasons that most people prefer to be stay-at-home parents to take care of the kids. So if you are a 2-income family, you find that, okay, can the one person have a second source of income so that one parent can stay home? Also, it depends on the jobs that you're going to be doing and if you have any other sources of income. So if one person's income can cater for the whole family, then that's okay. Then the one parent can stay home. If both of you have to work because you can't meet the economic threshold, the things that you need to do in life to survive, especially bills and stuff, then both of you will work and then you'll have maybe to send your kids to daycare or have a nanny come and live in with you. And that's another expense. So yes, it's doable, but it depends. It depends on your economic situation, your jobs, the place where you live, the childcare, all of that. If you have somebody who can come and help you with childcare, or if you know somebody here that, I don't know, it's hard. I had one kid growing up. I mean, I got married, I had one child, and it was kicking my butt, trying to raise that one baby here in the US. So I'm not going to sugarcoat it and say that it's going to be roses, but it's being done. People are doing it here. And if you guys have any advice for roads and routes, Kenya, please put it down here. If you're in the US or in the diaspora and you're raising kids, how are you doing it? Small kids under 8 years. A lot of us, we put the kids on the bus. If you have a parent that can drop them off to the bus station or drop them off to school, yeah, that was another part of my life that was very, very challenging when the kid was small. Mike M, clarification. Some influencers promote excessive consumption. So I remind myself not to buy things I don't need. Just be mindful on needs versus wants. Avoid the fear of missing out. I thank God I don't have this. I don't have the FOMO. I don't have fear of missing out. I don't go with the trends. So I thank God for that particular, I call it like a virtue for me. I don't do those things. I don't buy things that I don't need. But then here in the US, for some reason, we tend to accumulate stuff. I feel like one of these days, I'm just going to hold a yard sale because we have so much stuff that I don't think we need. but I don't have the fear of missing out. So yeah, that's a good point. Especially on Instagram and TikTok, the influencers, they promote excessive consumption. You go on TikTok and these people are at the TikTok shop, these people are selling you this thing, and you're like, oh wow, I need that. You didn't need it 2 seconds ago before you jumped on the app. But that's how it is. That's how it is. We get like pulled into this apps, and we are there all day just looking and buying stuff that we don't need. Priscilla, mimi nilikuwa nimeanzisha YouTube channel 2024, nikapost video kidogo, nikaona sina subscribers, nikawacha. Maybe this year I'll try again. Let me tell you about YouTube. And I'm not even a big YouTuber. Me, I'm still struggling, trying. I'm still, a beginner. But you keep posting. The first time I posted my YouTube channel, I had 13 subscribers, I think. And then the next day I had 37 or something. And then unaenda tu pole pole, you just post. If you have something to say, you just post your videos, post whatever you need to say. One day you will have 3 subscribers, then the next day you will have 5. So, and keep talking to the people who have subscribed. And even when you have no subscribers, do your video as if you're talking to someone. Like, even if there was nobody on this live, for example, and I appreciate you guys being here, I would still be talking as if there are people listening, because I know they'll find my video at some point later. It might even be years from now. So Priscilla, go back to your channel and post something. Post something today, actually. Today, depending on where you are, kesho, on the 2nd. Post something and then be consistent and come back and tell me that you won't see a difference. You have to do it. If you start something, don't do half-ass things. Do something and follow through with it. And I'm talking also to myself. I don't want to start something and leave it halfway. So if I say I'm going to do something, I pray that I will get the courage and the wisdom to follow through, and the strength and the mental capacity to follow through with it. I wish you all the best. Go back to your channel and post videos. Hiyo ilikuwa message yangu. Message gani? All right, guys. Happy New Year. Happy New Year, everybody. Thank you for joining the live session today. I wish you everything that you're wishing and you're praying for this year. Wherever you are, whether in Africa, the African continent, if you're in Europe, everybody in the US, wherever you are, thank you. Thank you for subscribing to my channel. Thank you for 10,000 subscribers. I appreciate you. I really do appreciate you. So let's share any tips for financial success so we can all be successful in 2025. Let me know what financial success means to you, or even not financial, but what does success mean to you, and what do you want to achieve in 2025? Let's chat in the comment section. Guys, have a blessed day. Happy New Year. Thank you from Lucy Mwangi, USA, here in Delaware.